Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Mesillas Yesharim, and today we start Perek Daled, the fourth chapter, B'derech Keniyas HaZehirus, the way in which we are going to acquire Zehirus, this trait of watchfulness for ourselves. Says the Ramchal, Hine ma shemevias ha'adam al derech klal el Zehirus. That which in general is going to bring a person to this desired trait of Zehirus, of being watchful, and of being careful in one's actions, is hu limud Torah, is the learning of one's Torah. The more Torah that a person learns, the more watchful they're going to be. And this is exactly what Pinchas ben Yair says in the beginning of this brisa that we quoted. Torah mevia liyidei zehirus. Torah, learning Torah, brings a person to zehirus, brings them to watchfulness. Now, what is the pshat? What is the explanation in these few words? So there are two ways for us to look at this. Number one is, when a person learns Torah, they become extremely aware of all of the details and the nuances of the halacha, of the responsibilities, of the obligations, of, we'll call it even the demands that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has of us in the way in which He wants us to live our lives. If a person doesn't learn the Torah, and he doesn't understand what the halachas of kashrus are, he doesn't understand what the halachas of Shabbos are, he doesn't understand what the mitzvahs of tefillin and tzitzis and wearing a yarmulke are, they don't understand the importance based on halacha and hashkafa of what tznius is, or what Yom Tov is all about, or second day Yom Tov in Chutz La'aretz. If a person doesn't understand all of that, and he doesn't learn that, he doesn't imbibe the wisdom of the Torah, what's going to happen? That person's not going to be watchful. They're going to do things, and either they're not going to be aware at all that what they're doing is wrong, or they're simply not going to care. Because without the learning, without the involvement and the engagement in the study of Torah, where a person expands their mind and their vision to be able to see what it is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to do, they are certainly going to stumble again and again and again into the pitfalls of mistakes that a person who is not sensitive to the world of Torah and Halacha is going to make. And therefore, says the Ramchal, if you want to be a Zohir, if you want to be careful and watchful over your actions, to make sure that your maisim, that your deeds are proper and that they are good, if you want to make sure that you're walking in the right direction over here, then you got to learn. Rabbi Salanter himself, who was the father of the Mussar movement, he used to say that if a person doesn't learn Torah, how will they know? How will they understand a Yom Tov? How will they understand a mitzvah? You can go to a shir and you can get inspired beyond belief that you're never going to speak Lashon Hara again. You get so inspired. There's a fear that is running through the room. The speaker is one of the most dynamic, charismatic speakers, and he's telling stories that make your hair stand on end, and you tell yourself, I'll never speak Lashon Hara again. And you walk out of there, and you still have goosebumps all over your arms, but you don't know the halachas of Lashon Hara. And if you don't know the halacha, if you never learned the Torah of evil speech and gossip, then as much as you want to keep the mitzvah the right way, you won't be able to, because you don't know what you're doing. And therefore, says the Mesillas Yesharim, learning Torah makes a person watchful, because they know what they are looking at, they know how to watch over themselves. The second idea is, and this is also something that Rabbi Salanter said, he said, I don't know how it's possible that a person doesn't learn Tosfos, which is one of the main commentators on the Gemara. I don't know how it's possible for a person to have Yiras Shamayim, the fear of heaven, if he does not learn Tosfos. What was Rabbi Salanter saying in that? Tosfos is a tremendous commentary on the Gemara, where it often will ask questions, and then it will bring proofs from other Masechtas, other tractates, and it'll understand it with a lumdis, with a deeper intellectual understanding, in order that things become either questionable or they become clear, and he goes through step by step, place by place, in order to arrive at the ultimate conclusion. Said Rabbi Salanter, when a person learns that kind of Torah, that means that they sharpen their mind. The mind becomes much more aware of the emes of the truth. They're able to clarify things. They're able to cut through the gray areas and be able to get to the emes la'amito, the ultimate truth that is there. So if a person is learning that, so then when they come and they apply their brain and their thought process to their life, and they begin to examine the things that they are doing, they will be honest and they will be able to be watchful and sincere and see what is right and what is wrong, what is holy, what is impure, so on and so forth. And if a person is not learning Torah, so then how is their mind going to be straightened out? How are they going to be able to cut through the layers of personal bias and the peer pressure that a person has in their life, which is causing them to do things the way that they do? Only when a person is a loymei Torah, that they learn Torah and they imbibe the Torah and it becomes part of their life, then their mind becomes like a das Torah. It's incisive. It cuts through the different sides of the coin over there. It's able to evaluate the situation. I can look after the fact at an action that I did, and I can be honest and I can evaluate and say, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done it this way. I shouldn't have done it that way. I got to improve myself. Says the Ramchal over here, when you're learning, when you're connected and you're engaged in the study of Torah, that itself is going to transform the way that you look at things. Number one, because you'll understand what all the halachas are and the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants that a person should do things. And number two, a person is going to understand that the ultimate in their life is that as they sharpen their mind to the study of Torah, sharpening their mind again and again and again, it will give them a connection to the emes, and they will see the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants them to live their lives. Have a wonderful day.